parks are for recreation, and so it's a balance of determining over time what the appropriate recreation is for the park setting that we're dealing with. Here we have a unique situation in that we have a nested community here that surrounds the park experience. So in addition to just doing the standard kind of master planning for park infrastructure and public use, we have to be sensitive and determine how we're going to integrate that with the adjoining community, the residents and whatnot that live here. And that's a really delicate dynamic between the two, because this park is essential to the tourism industry for the Big Island, and yet it's nestled in a very quiet, low-key local community. And sometimes it's very hard to balance those two elements. Trends in recreation are evolving. We have more stand-up paddle boards now. In earlier planning efforts, that didn't exist. Some of the earlier planning elements had discussed maybe reintroducing the notion of only outrigger canoes in the water, which it sounds good and it's a pleasant kind of vignette to picture, but in reality, anything of that nature requires somebody with skill, and a canoe weighs 400 pounds, so essentially you would need some form of concession, to set that up. But one of the big issues with recreation now is really determining how people get to the water, how frequently they get to the water, and what type of craft they're using to get to the water, and is it possible to establish or determine if there's a limit. And new planning and regulatory stuff on the horizon is related to how the federal government now is identifying impacts to the spinner dolphins. And we have some very extensive pods of dolphins in this bay. And so there is a concern that over time, we may have to balance the recreational use with the impact to the spinner dolphins.